One.
Hello and welcome back to the NW Sportscast. Today we are with guests Lorenzo and Alex Torres. You've seen them on the show before. Welcome back, guys. How you doing?
Pretty decent.
Well, that's good considering a pretty bad move from the Eagles, but we will get to that later in the episode. We're going to be going over our Super Bowl predictions as well. We're going to be going over some trade talks that have happened. Obviously, Matt Stafford is a big one. We'll talk about all of that and more. But before we get started, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Helps our channel out a lot. And let's get started. Levi?
All right. Well, we're going to go over the Super Bowl predictions. This is not just score predictions. This is all factors of the game. Who's going to get the most yards? Who's going to get the most tackles? Which team's going to have the most interceptions, turnovers, touchdowns? What's the score going to be? Who's going to be the MVP? All of that is going to be on here today. And then we're going to do our part 2 to the episode, which is going to be our Eagles season recap. We have two very hardcore Eagles fans with us here today. So we're going to talk about how the Eagles season went with them and what the future of the franchise is. So let's get right into it. Super Bowl predictions. First off, the score. Lorenzo, you first. What is the score going to be on this Super Bowl?
I'm not going to give you an exact score, but I say Chiefs win by 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Alex.
All right, so I think it's going to be a close game throughout. I think both quarterbacks are going to have a great game with some mistakes in between. I'm going to take the Chiefs by 6, and I'm going to take them 30-24.
All right, Drew.
I am going to go with the Buccaneers. I have been riding them this playoffs.
Wow.
I have picked them every single
Wow.
week. And I think that it's really hard to repeat Super Bowl winners. Has not happened since.
The Cowboys.
Levi, you want to fact check me when last time that happened?
Cowboys,
I
right?
Was it the
93,
Cowboys?
94?
Yeah, it may have been. It's been a long
either
time.
Either way, it's been a
The
long
last
time. So I'm gonna have the
back-to-back
Bucks.
was Cowboys.
I'm gonna have the Bucks win by 3 in a close game, maybe into OT.
I will remind you, that was the same guy who 3 weeks ago took the Washington football team over the Bucks in the divisional round or in the wild card round.
No, I didn't. That was Seth that did that.
Oh, or was that Seth who did? Okay.
Yeah, I was tempted.
You
but I
were
didn't.
tempted. That's right. You were tempted. All right. Well, for me, I am going to pick the Chiefs. I think it's probably, I'm going to say a 9-point game. I'm not going to give a score like Lorenzo. I'm not positive what the score will be. I'm going to say 9-point game. Maybe, actually, I will give a score. I'm going to say 30-21. Chiefs win 30-21. And I just feel like my reasoning is just because Tom Brady, he does throw quite a few interceptions and Mahomes doesn't. All right, so with that, let's talk about the next portion of the game. Who do you think will win the MVP of the Super Bowl? Tom Brady, Mahomes, those are obviously the two options, but
I just have a quick comment. Drew, since you're taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are you betting any money? Because I did see that a fan bet $2.3 million on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, there was a guy who bet.
I am not betting any money unless we want to do a friendly bet with them ourselves.
Also,
I think I would win a lot of money if we all put in $10. I'd win $30. Like, that's pretty good money. Personally, you guys would be making $3.33 because I'm picking the underdogs here. But
Yeah.
I have the Bucks winning, and I have Tom Brady winning the MVP. I think it'll be close with maybe. I think someone like Evans could go off, and he could have a potential chance at winning that award, but. It's been a while since quarterback hasn't won it. I think it was maybe Malcolm Smith with the Seahawks, actually. Maybe there was somebody before that earlier. But I'm going to go Tom Brady. Easy pick. Yeah.
Well, with the Chiefs, I have Tyrann Mathieu coming in with 2 picks and a forced fumble, and I think he's going to win MVP. I think he's going to pick off Tom Brady once, and I think he's just going to have an overall great game. And I'm going to take him as a defensive MVP.
All right, Lorenzo.
I'm going to go with the easy pick, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
This goes back-to-back MVP.
For me, I would pick Mahomes, except for the fact that he did win it last time. And I feel like maybe even if he is the best player, maybe there was a chance that they decide, you know what, let's give it to somebody else. So I'm going to go with Travis Kelce. I think he probably is the second biggest contributor to the Chiefs. I see him getting 2 critical touchdowns, maybe also gets a critical first down late in the game to seal it. That might be enough to get him the MVP award over Mahomes. Obviously, Mahomes is, like Lorenzo said, he's the easier choice. All right, so the next question, which team will get the most offensive yards?
I'm going to go Chiefs.
I'm going to go Chiefs as well.
Lorenzo?
Easy, Chiefs.
Yeah.
We all have
I'm
the
actually
Chiefs.
going to say the Bucks. I do have the Chiefs winning the game. I think the Bucks will actually outgain them, however. My thinking.
Levi, I
Yeah.
just don't think. Just like let's go the Packers game, right? The Packers actually did outgain them, and the Bucks did end up winning. That's because
true.
Tom Brady. That's because that defense is really, really good at bending and not breaking. Obviously they held a field goal the very last drive instead of 7 points. A possible 8 points to tie it. So I think that the Bucks defense is going to give up a lot of yards because it's the Chiefs, but I think they're going to hold them to a couple of field goals when it matters the most. And I think Tom Brady's going to capitalize on a couple of Patrick Mahomes mistakes. And that's why I think that it will still be a Bucks win, but I think the Chiefs will outgain them by 30, 50 yards.
So that's interesting because you and I foresee the game going completely different. I foresee the Chiefs' offensive possessions being mostly punts, and then with a couple of just deep balls that end up going as touchdowns. Rather, I see the Buccaneers putting together a lot of long sustained drives, but I think that there's a chance that maybe 3 or 4 of them will end in turnovers because the Chiefs, they give up quite a few yards, but they have surprisingly not given up very many points. So that indicates to me that maybe they'll get some critical turnovers when necessary. The Buccaneers, they stop the run really well, so I have a feeling that the Chiefs are going to rely a lot on the deep balls passing game, probably also with Travis Kelce as well.
Alex?
Sorry, can you rephrase the question?
Who gets more yards?
I think he already answered that, right?
Yeah, I said Chiefs.
Yeah, he said the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, but like why, I guess? Sorry. Do you have a reason?
I feel like Tom Brady definitely can play well. He has the potential, but I feel like second quarter, like I've been saying about the Bucs, has been a second half has been iffy. Tom Brady can definitely. I feel like in the first half, the Buccaneers will take the total yards, but I feel like in the second half, the Chiefs will just stomp because the second half is where they feed.
Yeah.
I feel like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady will be. I think what the determining factor will be the quarterbacks. I feel like the run games will be pretty even with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell versus Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. I feel like that'll be pretty equal, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to outduel Tom Brady.
All right, let's go to our next question. Who do you think gets the most receiving yards out of both teams? Who will get the most receiving yards?
Lorenzo,
I'll give
Tyreek
my answer, Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Lorenzo,
Anthony-
He destroyed them last time. He can do it again.
Was it like 270, right? He got last time?
Yeah.
That's insane.
On 7 catches, I think.
Yeah. And Alex, what you have a different?
I said Anthony Miller, the third string Buccaneers wide receiver. No.
Scotty Miller, right?
White
Scotty
guy.
Miller?
Scotty Miller. I'm going to go
Miller.
with Travis Kelce. I feel like he will have a bigger impact in the game than Tyreek Hill.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. All right.
And that's just because I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning that game, and I said that Evans was my second pick to win MVP. So I'm going to predict him going off for 150 yards, a couple of touchdowns.
You think he'll catch more passes than cause picks?
Yeah, I do. I think he's gonna get 10 plus receptions. Lorenzo, why do you have Tyreek?
It's easy. It's a safe pick as well because there's not that many receivers that go for 270 yards against the team.
I was listening to that game on the radio, and I remember just hearing the second deep touchdown pass and thinking to myself, what quarter is it? Wait, there's still 4 minutes in the first quarter. He already has 2 Hail Mary touchdowns. Like, they are not covering this guy. So hopefully, if the Bucs have learned anything, they've learned how to cover the fastest receiver in the NFL. All right, next
I
question.
have
you
a
leave-
question.
Yeah, Drew.
My question is, would you guys, who do you think's better, Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill? And whose weapons would you want more, the Bucs weapons or the Chiefs weapons?
All right. To answer your question, you can't determine who's better. It's a tight end and a wide receiver. They play two totally different
Who would you rather have in your team?
positions.
I would.
Well, it's who would I rather need, right? I mean,
Just like,
tight ends,
I guess, like,
tight ends can block, but receivers like Tyreek Hill are fast. You know, it's really what you need. You can't. I mean,
so what would you pick? What do you think is more important?
I would pick.
I think they're both. I would give them both a 5-star rating on their position. So it's really hard to judge a 5-star
Yeah.
receiver against a 5-star tight end.
I mean,
I would
For
take
me, it's
I would
an-
take Kelce. Just
yeah,
to
for the
open
fact
the
that he can,
conversation.
for the fact that he can block
Yeah, I
and
probably
run
Kelsey as well.
routes, I would probably take Kelce.
That also, you guys forget that Kelsey's much more consistent. He's been in the league
Yeah.
for what, 8-9 years, and he's caught 1,000-yard seasons much more. So I would take Kelsey all
Yeah.
day.
And
Drew,
I
your
love-
question,
Yeah.
I have a. Can I ask a clarifying question? Are you talking running backs as well, or just receiving and tight end?
I'll throw in running backs. Yeah, sure.
Okay, because that might actually affect my.
And
my
I guess
answer.
my just reasoning for taking Kelce really quick is that I think people like Kelce don't come around every day, and obviously people like Tyreek Hill does not come around every day. We haven't seen another Tyreek Hill, but I just think that there's people who are really, really fast in the NFL. And what makes Tyreek Hill so dominant is that he can, he can stop on a dime. He's a really good route runner. He knows the game really, really well. But what makes Travis Kelce just so dominant is that he is one of the best blocking tight ends and one of the best receiving tight ends. And I don't think that's really ever happened where a tight end has been so good at both things. He's usually a really good blocking tight end, a little bit bigger guy, can't move as well. But Travis Kelce somehow does it all. And I think that although they're both really, really special, I think that Travis Kelce is just a little more unique than Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying Scotty Miller is like Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they give the same type of vertical weapons. And Rob Gronkowski just doesn't do the same thing as Travis Kelce. And I don't think anybody in the league does the same thing as Travis Kelce.
Gronk used to do the same things. He's
Yeah.
just older, so it's hard to value him.
I think
right now.
Travis at his height is better than Gronk at his height, just personally.
Well, I feel like so I'm gonna answer Drew's question in my answer here. I do think that Gronk at his height was better than Travis, but right now Travis is better. No question.
Obviously,
asked.
but I think okay.
And maybe Travis was better. But to answer your question, Drew, I would actually take the Buccaneers' weapons. I think the Buccaneers have arguably the best weapons. When I think about it, I think the starting running backs are pretty equal between Ronald Jones and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But Leonard Fournette, I think, is a better backup than Le'Veon Bell. And considering that Helaire and Jones have both had injury that they've been dealing with, neither of them are probably going to be at full strength. Then I think receivers, I think to myself, obviously Tyreek Hill is better than anyone the Bucs have. But then thinking about Evans and Godwin are probably the next two best. Scotty Miller is probably.
What about Watkins and Hardman?
I feel like Evans and Godwin are both better than Watkins and Hardman. Then I would go.
If Evans ties up to, if Evans goes with Tyreek Hill, then you have Godwin and Scotty Miller left. Would you take Godwin and Scotty Miller, or would you take Watkins and Hardman?
I would take probably Godwin and Miller by a hair.
But you also have Kelce you have to throw in.
Yeah, so let's also consider tight end. So Kelce is better than Gronkowski, but who's the Chiefs' backup tight end? Who's the by kind of a lot.
By a lot.
Kelsey's a 5-star.
Kelsey's
a 5-star. Gronk, so I'd give him a 4-star.
I'd give him a
3-star.
3.5.
Okay, well, I guess
Right
we
now.
disagree on how good Gronk is, but
he's fine.
But think about it. The Buccaneers also have a guy named Cameron Brate, who we don't talk about that much, but Cameron Brate's a really solid backup tight end. I'm not sure who the Chiefs' tight end is. Their backup tight end is. I don't even know who he is.
They don't need a backup tight end.
Is Cameron
Kelce
Brate
never
the
gets
backup,
I don't
hurt.
know.
or is
So
Gronk the
now
backup?
I'm comparing him against the Chiefs'
Exactly, Drew.
So now I'm comparing the Bucs' 5th best pass catcher, which is Cameron Brate, against the Chiefs' 5th best pass catcher, which I think is Demarcus Robinson, the receiver. I would take Brate over Robinson, so that gives them a very slight edge. I would say they are both. I would give both of them probably. I don't know if they're the first and second best units in the league, but they are very much up for debate whether these two are the best two units in the league. And then it also has to make you wonder, and this is my next question, is Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, are they only good because they have the best and second best weapons in the NFL?
No, at all.
I mean, getting back onto the best weapons, you can't forget Jalen Reagor and Greg Ward. I mean, Philadelphia has such a strong offense as well, guys. But
Yeah.
I mean, you look at
And
the way
Whiteside. Don't forget Whiteside.
Oh yes, that guy.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Didn't you guys waste your first rounder on him?
Oh
When
yeah,
DK was
and we
still
didn't
there.
take DK because everybody thought he couldn't run routes, and now he's not catching touchdown passes.
Yeah.
I guess I'll answer Levi's question. I think that Tom Brady, obviously, you saw last year with one of the best coaches in the league ever, maybe the best coach in the league ever, with really, really subpar weapons. Subpar being an understatement, to be completely honest. They were bottom 5 weapons, if not the worst weapons in the league. They were really, really bad. And he still got to the playoffs with 11 wins. They did end up losing in the playoffs pretty early, but I do think Tom Brady is good without weapons. Going on to, I think obviously the weapons enhance Tom Brady, but he's still great without weapons. Going on to Patrick Mahomes, obviously you can't say an MVP is just because of the weapons and scheme. Does that help Patrick Mahomes? Absolutely yes. I think Patrick Mahomes is just as skilled as Russell Wilson, and you guys can argue with me about that, but obviously I'm a Russ fan, and I might be a little biased, but just skill wise, just face value, without weapons or anything, without schemes, without anything, I would take Russ over Patrick Mahomes right now because he has more experience. I know that's not the argument, but what I'm saying is the weapons and the scheme and Andy Reid enhances Patrick Mahomes so much that I do think people overestimate his skill by just a tad. They're both really, really good quarterbacks, though.
Yeah, I did see an interesting stat today that Mahomes, his expected completion percentage was like around league average, but his actual completion percentage was one of the top 10 in the league. So it's interesting to look at that. Maybe his receivers are helping, but my take has always been that quarterbacks and receivers, they work together. They elevate each other. Quarterbacks and their weapons, they elevate each other. That's why you see good teams always have good quarterbacks and good weapons. Unless you're the Bears and you have neither, and that's why you got thumped in the wild card round.
That's why the Eagles were so good.
No, they got Allen Robinson.
Well, I mean, yeah, they had Allen Robinson. That's true. But
Lorenzo,
but just
who do you think,
when I think about it, all the good teams have both, so I think they elevate each other.
Lorenzo?
Yeah.
Do you think Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are they good because of their weapons, or do you think that they're kind of overestimated?
I agree to your statement as well. Like, you can't argue about if Tom Brady's good. He's the GOAT, regardless of if he played with Randy Moss and stuff like that.
But even considering with Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman, who are 4-star receivers at best, 3 or maybe even 2 at worst.
No, Edelman's him.
Well, what would you say Edelman is?
At his height, I would say 4.5 stars. He was good.
Okay, sure, but the rest of his receivers were Chris Hogan and Amendola. So,
where is Chris Hogan?
Oh, he's like a backup for the Panthers. I think he's not actually. I don't think he's been playing much. But considering that he could win the Super Bowl with nobody. Now he wins. Now he makes it to the Super Bowl with really great weapons. So he goes with anyone.
Yeah.
With a good defense, with a bad defense.
I'm going to bring up the point that Drew made about Russell Wilson. And I remember last year that there were rumors that Russell Wilson's girlfriend wanted to move, or girlfriend, right? Are they married?
They are married now.
They're married, yeah.
Okay, well, married now. They wanted to move. She wanted to move to New York. And so the thing that was coming up was, what would happen if Russell Wilson played with the New York Giants? And I mean, that's the same question. I mean, I feel like a quarterback in itself has to be able to adapt to different schemes. Sure, coaches and things help out a quarterback, but a quarterback's talent doesn't all come from a coach. You know, you have to be naturally talented. And so I feel like you look at the Patriots this year, Jacoby Myers and whatever the other heck their receivers are called. I mean, the Cam Newton did not perform well. Mm-hmm. So the question is, I think Tom Brady would have done fine. I think they would have had at least an 8-win season just because Tom Brady has the experience.
Yeah.
And he
made the playoffs.
He knows how to play. He knows how to play
agree.
with a team that can't always adapt to his skill set because he's used to it. He's been in the league for 20 years. He knows how to get around.
Yeah, I mean, with Newton, the Patriots won 7 games. I think Brady probably wins 9, maybe 10. And Brady only won 11 with the Bucs. So I think that, Brady with the Bucs won 11. Brady with the Patriots is winning 9 or 10. And that's enough for a wild card, right? 10 wins, that's a wild card. So same results. I don't think he makes the Super Bowl with those weapons, though.
No,
I think he loses again in the playoffs.
At that point, I think in the playoffs, it comes down to how well can your weapons play with your quarterback.
Yeah, and also the fact that the Patriots literally like 2/3 of their defense sat the season out. That's obviously has to have an effect on them as well.
And like the other half of their team is on Detroit now.
Yeah.
Next question.
Speaking of Detroit, Matt Patricia, by the way, just got rehired to the Patriots.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh
yeah.
God.
So the Patriots
as defensive coordinator,
as assistant head coach.
Oh shoot! What are they doing?
I know, right? It's like I hope that he's not their next option after Belichick.
I hope he gets a Boston quad.
Yeah.
Revving on the field again.
Levi, do you have any more questions about
I think with that, that's it with our Super Bowl predictions. So I guess we'll move on to the second half of the episode, which is our
Eagles. Have one more question really quickly.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys think that who will be leading at halftime? Because I know that Patrick Mahomes has been known to trail a little bit in playoff games in the first quarter, first half. It was more last year, but that was kind of a narrative, but he's always been able to come back. Same thing in the 49ers game. Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be trailing, or do you think Tom Brady's going to be trailing? And B, if Patrick Mahomes is trailing, do you think Tom Brady will let him come back into the game?
I think it'll be 14-10 at the half for the Buccaneers. Oh, no, wait. I'm going to take 14-10 for the Chiefs. I think this is the game that Kansas City gets ahead first and then sort of, stays ahead. Parks the bus almost.
Well, I was going to say 14-10 as well, but I was going to say 14-10 to the Bucs. And then I decided last second, you know what? The Chiefs are going to get a touchdown right before the half. The similar as the Bucs did against the Packers. So I'm actually going to say at halftime, it will be 17-14 Chiefs, very close. And then the Chiefs will I have them winning by 9. So I guess I have the Chiefs pulling away a little bit in the second half. I would say Chiefs are up in a very close 3-point game.
I think the Bucs lead by 3.5, and then Tom Brady throws 1 or 2 dumb interceptions, and Patrick Mahomes capitalizes.
I think the opposite, Lorenzo. Actually, I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to throw 1 or 2 dumb interceptions.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw interceptions.
Yeah, he does actually. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions at the end of the year.
He threw 6.
He did throw 3 against the Dolphins. So if the Bucs can be like the Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins had a player with like 9 interceptions, so
I guess I don't know. I think Patrick Mahomes,
the better player than Jalen Ramsey.
The Chiefs, the Chiefs, the last 3 or 4 games actually were kind of struggling. I know they did get their wins, but they had a bunch of close games against kind of average teams. And I think that the Chiefs are gonna be in position to win this game. But I think the Buccaneers are going to be ahead at half, 21-10. I think that Tom Brady is really going to go ham at the end of the half, throw another deep Scotty Miller touchdown to be ahead. It was 14-10, and then one more touchdown to go 21-10. And then I don't think Tom Brady is going to give the lead back to Patrick Mahomes, despite how much Patrick Mahomes wants it. And I think I don't see Tom Brady being Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you guys look at last year's Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo was literally 1 throw away from winning that Super Bowl. He overthrew a guy by about 2 yards, and that cost them the Super Bowl. That was another first down. They could have let up the clock a little bit more. They set them up for field goal range, and they were quite possibly 1 throw away from winning the Super Bowl. And I think Tom Brady makes that throw. I just don't see Tom Brady giving up a lead in the Super Bowl. He's so good at taking back deficits, and he's so good at keeping those leads when he has them. I don't envision a scenario where Tom Brady throws that game. I
feel like what happened what happened in the Chicago game. Tom Brady's going to be at the Chiefs 35. It's going to be 3rd down. He's going to throw an incomplete pass to Mike Evans. He's going to forget it's 4th down again. He's going to try and take a deep shot, and it's going to get picked off.
And what's he going to do then?
Then yeah, exactly. He's gonna blame it on his coach.
But all respect to Tom Brady, he is the best to ever do it, and no matter what happens in this Super Bowl, it's gonna take Mahomes a lot more success to even come close to Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I think that's it with our Super Bowl predictions. So you guys, for our viewers, continue to tune in. We're gonna have more Super Bowl talk and Super Bowl updates and news coming to you guys throughout the week. And we're hoping to do a live stream of the Super Bowl, a live stream broadcast of the Super Bowl on the day of. So that should be interesting.
Bucks have home field advantage too.
That's true.
Proud about that.
All right.
27,000 fans. It's not that big of a home field
Hey,
advantage.
it's better than 0 fans. Let's be real.
Yeah.